Hello, everyone. I hope that you're having a fantastic day at the BBCA Broke Bank Crafting event. I'm just going to give it a few minutes for people to join in a little bit, hoping I will be able to see comments. I'm so happy to be here. Hi, Ellen. So today I decided, I know that we said Copic coloring in the description, but I decided that today I would share with you all a little bit of Copic coloring, Ohuhus coloring, and Olo coloring as well. So we are going to combine all three in our project today. I have a sample of something that this will look like similar. So happy to have you here, Ellen, and others who are jumping in, feel free to say hi and speak in the comments. I would be glad to know you're here. I have a sample. It's not a full card. It's just a panel. Hi, Mona, just to show you what we're going to do. It won't be exact, but it'll be very close. So this is what we're going to make today. And I'm going to show you several techniques. So we're going to blend the dress doing double coloring. We're going to make the wings for the girl. We're going to build a background with a stencil, different than most people do. Hi, Tammy. So we have a lot of work to do, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't think I'll have a problem getting it done in the 2-hour frame that I have, but this is what we're going to focus on today. So again, hi Donna, all of those of you who are jumping in now, I know that our last event was great, but it was still ending when I hopped over to do the live. So I know we'll have some people jumping in. Hey Brian. So this image is on our website. It's called Prince and Princesses, and it is a free digital stamp. So I printed it at 3 inches, 3 by 3. And I just cut it out so it would be ready for what we're going to work on today. And then I grabbed, these are the supplies I use. These are from my craft room. So I grabbed this old Stampin' Up set that I had called Dragonfly Dreams. If you guys are Stampin' Up people or were in the past, you probably have this in your stash. We're going to use this Dragonfly butterfly to make our fairy girl. So she doesn't have any wings yet, but she will. And I'll show you how to do that even with the digital stamp. Now, if I had a physical stamp, I would just mask the girl and stamp the dragonfly. But I'm going to show you how to do that if you have a digital stamp. We're also going to use this stencil that we have in our shop, but you can use any one that you have. It's a double layered stencil. You can do it with both layers or you can do it individually. So today we're going to use them individually. I've taped off the section that I want to use. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I did it anyway. Hi, Dallas. I'm just going through the process. So I have my paper here. This is the one that I will work on with the backgrounds. This is my stamp prepared to stamp, so we can work on that. Yes, I'm double stenciling it. We are stenciling the background in a different way. We're not using we're using alcohol markers for everything. And we're mixing it up, so we are using Copic, Ohuhus, and Olo today. So you're going to get to see a taste of what each marker brand looks like. When you mix them, and we will be mixing them all together for our entire project. So you can use alcohol markers separate if you have full set syndrome like me, or you can blend them together because they all work together. They're all alcohol markers. So we're going to play with all of them today. I've already pre-cut a foam sheet. I get these on Amazon. You can get them at 5 by 7 or 8.5 by 11, and I cut it down so I'll be able to pop up my image. I have a black panel that we'll use to outline the back of our image. And then I have this thing called a standard grip. You can get these kind of sticky mats from a lot of places. This one's from the Dollar Tree, so super cheap. $1.25. I don't know, some have them and some don't, but I'm using mine today. And I just take my little pre-cut girl, I'm gonna stick her on the mat just so it holds her still and I can spin her around as I'm coloring, and still she will be in the same place. So it's very helpful to me to do that. Hey Tammy. I have Dale, my other half here, who's going to help me read comments while I'm crafting so I don't miss the comments. I'm going to zoom in so you'll be able to see what I'm doing as
Hello,
I'm
everyone.
doing it. There he is in the background helping out. Those who watch my regular lives on Tuesday and Thursday and the fans of Doux Designs know Dale well. I will also be using this Spectra Noir glitter pen that I have in my stash. I'm using the Deco Gel from Karin markers. It's the Milky White. I love that pen. I will also be using a Grabie acrylic marker, which is a white pen as well. And then I will be using this one called La Pen. You know, because La Pen, no, just kidding. This one is from Marvy, M-A-R-V-Y, Ukaida. I love this pen, but you have to make sure you're using the one that says alcohol-based ink, so it works with your markers. So let's not delay. I'll show you one more time as essentially the basis of what we're making today. So we are going to do all of these things today. I didn't like the way the sentiment came out because you can't read it as well of the flowers, so we are going to switch it up, but this is what we're working on today. Just wanted you to know. Le Pen sounds so fancy. It does. I know. I love it. Comes in a 3-piece set and it's really cheap and it works with my alcohol markers just like a multi-liner. I also have a spare piece of paper here for blending purposes, so I will go through that and explain how I blend them all together when I'm choosing colors. So I may go into that a little bit just to help you guys out, so that's why this is on the side. Brian was doing well enough to do a live stream earlier, but the migraine struck again, so I ended it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I suffer from them as well, so I totally get it. We're going to start off with Copic markers for our skin tone blend, and because her face is small, we're only going to use 4 markers for the skin. We're going to use E000, E00, E11, and RV95, but we are going to use R20 for her cheeks. Yes, we hope you feel better soon, Brian. I know how painful that can be. Get out of the light. That's the only thing that helps for me. So I'm going to start with Copics, but we're going to move into Ohuhus and Olo as well while we're working. So if you want this image, it's free on our website. It's a free download digital stamp. It's called Prince and Princesses. There's a prince and a princess in the set, and they are free. So don't delay. Go get it. It would be great to add to your collection when you don't have to do much with it. I'm starting off with my E000, and this is to wet the paper and just get that base skin tone foundation in there. I do that with skin tone all the time. I don't do it with much else. I don't wet the paper or underdo the coloring. Only on skin. I do it on skin all the time. I feel like it helps. It helps you to blend. It helps you to get that base skin tone color in there and makes the blending easier. So only her arms, neck, and head are what we need to work with. So I've only colored those parts at this point. I'm gonna switch now to my darkest. I color dark to light. It uses less ink, so I love that, because I color almost every day. So don't be afraid of the dark color. It's very helpful to make your image pop. So I am putting the dark underneath where the hairline is, because that's where my shadow would be. And then under her neck. Don't worry about the little necklace. It's so tiny, but we are actually going to use a white gel pen over it. So if you color into the necklace, it doesn't matter because it will get covered up with the white gel pen. So you don't have to worry about that. So don't stress because it's such a small area, because it will be fine. So I put where her hair on her shoulders, some shadow there, and underneath her arms. And now we're going to switch to the cheeks. We're going to go ahead and put them in because I like to blend the cheek color out so it's not so bright, because I don't wear much makeup, and so it's just the style that I like, so I don't like them to have a whole lot of it either. So there we go. Don't worry, we're going to blend it out so it will be fine. Our second color for after the darkest, so our mid-tone is E11. I'm going to extend from where I put the darkest color. I'm going to just extend that out. Ellen, I know you have this image, so I hope you get to color along. I'm just extending. I know we have one more color, but I'm going to do a lot of it with this color. I normally would do one more color in the combination, but that's just because, you know, I like a lot of detail. But I figured since you guys were working on this with me, you don't really need any additional color. It makes it a little bit more simple to use one less color. So I'm I cut out one of the darker colors. So I am definitely extending and softening this line between the dark color and this color so that you can't see a line. So you'll notice how that really blended it together, and this one is still such a dark, stark line. So I'm going to turn her around so I can reach it a little easier and show you that step again. I'm going to start at her hand, and then I'm just going to blend along that line. I generally call this working the line. Just touch the line a second time if necessary to get that to blend really nicely for you. So that's generally how I work that. I'm going to add just a tad bit more up here. It's already dried, so it looks like a different tone. So I had to go over the top as well. And then our last color for her skin, and this is where we're going to blend everything together. So this is our E00. I'm going to go along this area where I colored the last color and left some white to get that to blend together. And then anywhere in here. And that way we get a really smooth, pretty skin tone on this girl. And you'll notice her cheeks are not as bright pink as they were before. They kind of just blend into her skin tone, which is what I really like to get. I like to get that super smooth blend tone on the skin. So we're going to do the same thing with her arms, touching that line where the last color was to make sure that we get a really good blend. I'm going to flip her upside down again. It's just helpful to have her at the angle I need. So there she goes. She has all of her skin done. Less than 15 minutes and her skin is almost done. Yes, I know. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting this done in the time frame. So if we start having a little bit of extra time, I have some other things we can talk about and some details I can share. So no worries at all. So that's skin. Now for her hair, I decided to go with a brown color. Again, we're going to use really dark markers, so don't be surprised. I'm watching and learning right now, but don't be surprised if a fairy princess shows up later. I would love that. I'm going to use E49, E29, E25, and E23 from the Copic color family. So we're using Copic for skin and hair, and then we're going to start using the other marker brands for the other areas. So E49 is my darkest color. This one's going to be really dark. Don't freak out. Anything underneath her in the back, underneath her head and in the back of her hair is going to stay pretty dark. So I'm going to color most of that in with this darkest color. I love this E49, and I think a lot of people shy away from it because it's so dark. But wait till you see the end. You've been adulting today, Nicole, doing laundry? Yikes. That doesn't sound like fun. I have not been adulting today. I have been playing today, along with all the videos. I've been a little bit of a lurker in the background of most of everyone's videos on YouTube, because I've been doing some crafting along. So, yeah, so I haven't been real talkative, but just kind of seeing everybody else's opinion. So, couple of things when you do hair. You definitely want to touch some areas where there'll be shadows. So anywhere where the hair will overlap, and always in the part. Your hair is always darker where the roots are. And then you want to keep with the motion of which direction the hair would go. So even though you'd be tempted to come out here, we're going to do this where we're going to kind of curve our line so it kind of goes with the shape of the hair. And the artist drawn lines in there are a guide to help you with that. So use them. That's what they're there for. And then a little bit down here, this would be underneath that hair above it. And then we'll just put a little bit from there. This would be kind of an overlapping of hair. This is an overlapping of hair, so we need a little bit in there. And then the ends are always turned under mostly, so a little bit in there. So I'm just adding some in there. This one on top probably won't have much, but there is a bit of a curve here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of lines there to kind of indicate that our hair comes in a little bit. So right now this looks really dark, but it's not going to be that dark when you get done. So you just have to trust the process. E29 is our second color. We only have 4, so we have 2 medium tones, and you can choose whether you want this darker color to be the true color of her hair or whether you want it to be the next one. And I'm going to go with the next one, which means that I won't be using the majority, coloring the majority of the hair with this one. I will be coloring more of the hair with the next one. So I also want that area to look like it dips in a little bit. And I'm just adding this kind of in between where the other colors are, so it starts to blend out that, you stink at keeping up with laundry. Me too. It will seem like it's still dark, but that's what the light colors will fix when you start putting the light colors in there. So always seems very dark in the beginning, but I promise, in the end, it is not going to be really dark. It's going to be dark brown hair, but it's not going to be looking like it's black hair. So we do need to extend out from these little areas that we built in over here. Otherwise, it won't blend well together. So our next color is the E25, and that's the one I'm going to do kind of as my true color. So there will be more of this with a little bit left for highlight. So you'll notice that I'm going in and blending and pulling into those light areas. using a lot more of this marker, and you can see as I go along that it is lightening the color of the hair. So while it seemed really dark, it's gonna lighten it up. The next one will lighten it even more. Are you on YouTube Live or just Facebook? I'm just on Facebook. I do have YouTube. You can find it under Copic_Diva or Doux Designs. But I usually upload my Facebook videos to my YouTube, and I do speed colorings and stuff on YouTube, but I haven't learned how to technically go live on YouTube, but it's on the list of things to do in the near future. So I will be having more of that coming up. If you want to find me live on YouTube, you have to visit Happy Crafty Ho Ho, spelled Happi. I do late night videos with them. So you can definitely find me over there as well if you're looking for another channel, or if you're a late night owl like me. You can come visit and craft along with us on that channel. Hello, Mary's Crafty Creations. Happy to see you. Here's the last color. This is E23, and this is the one where we're going to fill in the white areas, and we're going to blend out the colors that we have to make it appear a little bit lighter. So if I wanted it to be this dark, I would just go in and fill in the white areas, but I want to lighten it a little, so I'm going to go over most of it with this marker, and it will help to blend and lighten the color that we have. So you don't want to oversaturate when doing this, or you'll lose your lines in there that indicate hair. So just decide which way you want to do that and roll with that. So I'm just kind of blending those colors together. Getting that lighter color in there so it looks really pretty and soft. She has soft, beautiful, pretty brown hair. Notice how I stayed with the shape of the head and the shape of the hair, so it just looks so pretty. I am not happy. I am happy, but I'm not Happie Crafty Ho Ho. That's my friend and Andrea and Ellen. They do lives, and I join in with them to hang out and craft at night. It's just fun. It's fun time to get some crafting done. All right, so now we have her hair done. So that wasn't too hard. Look, we have hair and skin done. Look at us go. We are rolling through the process. Now, for Copics, I only have 3 more colors pulled out. Yes, Andrea Bates, yes. Thank you, Ellen. Yes, put that in there. Exactly, Tammy. Thank you guys for helping out and go live in the middle of the night. We do. And I just jump in. Ellen and Andrea are the regulars. I just jump in to have fun. I have 3 more Copics pulled. We will use the 100 a little bit later, and we will use the YR27 and 23 for our flowers. So I am now going to switch over to using Ohuhus markers. Can someone write her YouTube in the chats? Yes. Ellen, if you could do that, or Tammy, that would be fantastico. Oh, I do have some pinks pulled out in Copics, but for this girl's dress, I'm going to use 2 sets of Ohuhus markers. So I have BG 314, BG 19, BG 05, and B02. And then I'm also going to use G410, YG610, YG66, and YG07. So we're going to use blue and green for her dress. And we're gonna blend it together. So we want to have both of the colors in there together. So I'm gonna start with my BG 314. That's my darkest color of blue. And I'm going to start with her straps for her dress. And then I also want the top of her dress to be blue. And then we're going to blend down with the blue into the green. But I want her accent pieces, so her waist belt or ribbon or whatever you would like to call this, to be the dark blue. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in. And then for this, that's great, Tammy. Can you, I wanted the Happy Crafty Ho Ho link as well. It's there? Okay, great. Thank you, honey. All right, so I also want these folds, like I see these as a satin trim to her dress. So I want the satin trim to stay blue as well. And then her little shoes, I want her shoes to be blue since the bottom of her dress is going to be green. So I'm going to get that part in there as well. So this is my first step at the blues. Hi, Jay. Now I'm going to skip to, and let me show you how I chose these markers. So this is the one we just used, BG 314. I put a little bit on paper, and then I take the second color and I go over top of the last color and blend out from it. If it blends together, then I know I can blend it on the dress. And I come in with the next color. So I just choose colors and blend them out. And if they blend out nicely from dark to light, then I know they're going to work on the dress. So even though this is not a BG, it's still so light that it brings that to a lighter tone. So that I'd swatch all the time. Can you download this video and upload it to YouTube? We have a friend who would love to have it. I will be uploading this to, yes, I will be uploading this to my YouTube. Yep, I will be, as soon as the video's over, I will be downloading it and uploading it to my YouTube channel. So, oops, that's not the right color. I mixed them up. All right. So next is BG19 is my next color. So I will definitely upload this so you can watch the replay, grab the digistamp, and color along with the replay if you want to just watch right now. Hi, Susan. So this is BG19. What we're going to do is we're going to keep flowing down her dress with this color.
Jay asked where the line art is from.
This is an image from my shop, but it's a free digital download. So Jay, you can go out there. It's Prince and Princess. You get the girl and the boy, and they are free. So you can definitely go download them, and then you can either color with me or you can wait until I upload to YouTube and recolor with me on YouTube. So up to you on how you want to do that. So if I have a line here, work the line, go back with your marker and just work that area where you can see the line if you don't want to see it. And as you can tell, it just blended around nicely. So very easy. And then I'm also going to do the same thing with the belt, but I want this to stay dark. So I'm going to color most of the rest of this belt with this color. I won't be adding the lighter colors to it. Maybe a little bit of the next color, but mostly I want to keep it these two colors. So I'm just blending back and forth to get that really nice smooth blend on those little satin trim areas. And then I also want to keep her shoes dark, so I'm going to be adding to her shoes. I will do the sole of her shoes in black here in just a little bit. But for now, they're blue shoes. Now we're going to go with the next blue marker, which is BG05. We're going to start going down just further on her dress. So starting up here, we're going to blend to the belt. And as you can tell right away, it's not an easy blend. You just need to go over it again. Let it dry a little, and we'll go over it a third time here in a minute. Finishing off that little belt. And then I'm going to pick up, just doing a little bit underneath here. So I want that dress to start blending down with those colors. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to touch these again on that transition line to try to blend that out. So again, work the line. And once you get it to blend, then you can stop. So just a tad bit more and I think we'll be there. So it just takes a little bit of time to get that blend to come out. Hi, Meg. I'm going to touch this and extend just a teeny bit more. I want to put a little bit more of this color right underneath there. Now I'm going to switch to my B02, which is the last in the blue-green color. And I'm going to extend. I'll extend further than I really want this blue to go. But that's because I will be going over some of it with the other color to blend them together. And you'll know what I mean when we get to that point. So now, hi Barbara, I'm going to take that image and flip it upside down. And I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up with my green colors. So my green color combination from Ohuhus. So I'm going to start with G410. And I'm going to do the shadow areas down here with my G410. I am kind of following those artist drawn lines. That's what they're there for, is to indicate where the folds in the dress would be. Those are there to help you. If you don't like the black lines, you can always use a desert sand type ink or one of those inks that disappears when you color. I want the underside of this part of her dress to be the dark green, so I'm just going to put that in there. It'll make it stand out a little bit more when you're coloring and when you see the end result. I'm extending a little bit more because I want to keep the bottom of this dress pretty dark green so you can see the big change between the two colors. Hi, Suzanne. Hey, Christina. Here is YG610. This is my second color. And I'm going to start extending up from this color. This is a much brighter green. So since it changes tone, I'm going to go over the last color so I can bring that complete color together. So just extending from there. Again, I'll repeat, if you want this image, it's free in the shop. It's called Prince and Princess. So you can go out there and download it whenever you want. There are several other free images. We generally do one a month. Free digital stamp with our release. So you can go check those out. You can download all of the freebies or whatever you want. You make those blends look like magic. Thank you. They are pretty easy. They seems a little challenging, but really it's just taking your time. So with YG66, I'm kind of going about halfway down and then extending up to extend that lighter color. Now remember, We have one more color, but we're almost to the blue. And I said earlier, we're going to go over some of the blue with the last color. So that's why we're so close to that color. This is where the magic happens between the blends to get the colors to really come together the way that you want. So this is the part, this is the magic part. I'm going to use this light color called YG07. I'm also going to pull my BO2 just in case I need it to get the smooth blend. I may not, but I might. YG07, I'm going to start about halfway down on the color that I'm doing, and then I'm going to blend into that blue color. Right there. This is a perfect blend. It goes super nice together. Pretty easy. You can test that with the swatching process that I did earlier. I'm going to grab the blue, the BO2, and I'm going to go this way into that wet color that I just put on there for the green. And that will help mesh those two colors together so that you get a really nice blended effect. So now it doesn't really, when I flip her over, it doesn't really look like that's separated. It looks like it's all blended together. Let me make sure I put these markers on the right ends. I can tell you with Ohuhu to be careful when you're removing more than one lid, because if you hadn't noticed, they don't put the name of the number of the marker or the name on the body. So the only place you have it are on the ends. So if you remove caps on several blue markers at a time, you're not going to know which one's which. So keep that in mind and be cautious of that. That is one thing I have learned with these markers, to be very careful. Oh, my barbarian is cool. Yes, we love that stamp set. It's so fun. So let me show you real quick on this swatch. This is the BO2 that we used. And this is how I knew that blend was going to work for me. This is the YG07. If I go over half of it and I come back with this blue color, you can see how that blue and green work really well together. You almost can't even see the transition between the two. And that's how you test it, to make sure that your colors are going to blend super smooth on your image. So that purple hair on the screen, I know it's there. I gotta get my tweezers. I'm not very good at picking that stuff up on a sticky mat, honestly. I lose my hair often when I'm coloring. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we have to choose a color for her eyes. I'm gonna choose green because the blue is close to her eyes and the green is further away, so I feel like it'll give you a more cohesive look. So we're going to take the darkest color we used for the greens, which is G410. We're going to put it along the top of her eyes, just to keep that part kind of dark. Her hair would be covering her eyes, so the light part will be at the bottom. And then I'm going to choose the second one we used, the 610, and extend almost down to the bottom.
How are you holding the pen? Pen position. Explain it.
Oh, okay. So when you're coloring with alcohol markers, the higher up you hold your pen like this, the tinier lines you can get. The more you hold it to the side, the thicker your lines will be. So judge that when you're doing a teeny tiny area like this. So with my YG07, when I go to color this bottom part of the eyes, I'm holding my marker almost upright. People hair, pet hair, it's all embellishments and crafting. Yes, that's true. So I'm going to hold it upright so I can get that very thin line to go around her eye. I'm also using almost no pressure, like the lightest pressure ever. And that gives you these really pretty soft green eyes, which I really like. I will be out of town at our scrapbook mega meet, but I will be able to catch some of it. Oh, good. I'm going to lift up my image now because we need to color her wings. So I don't usually pick it up and grab it because I don't want to tear the image I just worked so hard on. There she is in all her beautiness. I usually just use my tweezers to pick it up off of this mat. And now we have to do our wings. Now you can do these wings in anything that you want. You can use butterfly wings, you can use dragonfly wings, you can use any angel wings, whatever kind of wings you can find. So what I did was I took the image and I made sure that when I put it over the center area, nothing was going to show but the wings. See? Now, I can not ink the bottom part, so that'll make it even less for me to have to cover up. But if you want to make her into a fairy, that's how you have to do it. Now, you could mask, or you could do it this way. I'll show you. And this is from Stampin' Up's Dragonfly Dreams. So I'm going to take this one, this dragonfly, and I'm going to ink it up only at the top, up here where the wings are. It's very detailed wings. I'm not putting any ink down here because I don't need to be able to see that part. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to use my little soda press tool to rub that because it makes it easier and it gives you even pressure. So you don't have to press hard. You only have to rub the top of your Misty. When you lift it up, you have this beautiful dragonfly. Which is really pretty much a gorgeous dragonfly by itself, but we want to make it into wings because why not use the stamp sets that you have to make more things? The more you can use what you buy, the happier you're going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and color first and then we'll cut it out. It's super simple because we don't have to worry about any of this detail. All we have to do is go right around the wings. I'm going to use Olo because I've chosen Olo for the light colors because I need a tan. I want a tan color that kind of goes a little similarly with her hair since her hair is going to be closest to the wings. So the inside parts of the wings, we're going to do those in 0, 4.3 and OR 1.1. Hey, Meg, I'm so clever. Sometimes it strikes me. Sometimes I get lucky. We don't have to color anything related to the inside of this because we are not going to see that. But I want this base part right here, just in the center, to be brown so it kind of looks like it goes with her hair. And you don't even, this is the easiest way to color this image. You do not have to worry about all those little circles. Just color it. Just color it. This is OR 1.1. And I'm going to extend on this one. It gives me a very light color that I will then be able to blend in with the blues and greens I'm going to use for the wings because we're going to stick with the same colors. This is our fairy and we need her wings to be the same color as her. Hi, Carol. So I'm just extending that brown, leaving the center part open for color. But I want to soften this and extend out. Now, if you want, you can take your sample while you're coloring and make sure that the brown is out as far as you want. You can see hints of it around her. This one I might extend just a little bit more so you can see a little bit more of the brown. But I think that's good. That's what I want. That's what I was looking for. So I'm going to switch back to the two lightest colors in my blue and green combination. So back to YG07 and B02. We already know they blend well together because we did them here. And now what I'm going to do is add them to the wings. I want the green on the outside and the blue on the inside because it'll be closer to her. So I'm going to start with my YG07 and I'm going to go in this little shape area right here. And then I'm going to extend out to where the brown is. So kind of just choosing wherever I want that blend to be. I'm going to flip this over and do the exact same thing on this side. So I'm just following this little design right here. And then I'm going along the bottom, kind of extending from here and just getting a little bit of green throughout those wings. I want them to look really pretty and smooth and soft. At the top, I'm going to do the top piece. You can see where the lines on the dragonfly separate. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of work with those artist lines in there. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side so they stay rather consistent. I go along the outside up here. And then all we have left is the blue. The B02. I have to step away for a bit, but I'll be right back. No problem. Thanks, Carol. So I'm going to start inside this area where there's no color and kind of blend out into the green. And that kind of gives us both the blue and green, and they blend really well together. So it kind of just makes it look like these wings were literally made like that. Now, isn't that cool? So this stamp set comes with a stamp where you can color. You can just stamp with another color and it'll fill in the dragonfly wings for you. But why do that when you have markers and it can be fun, you know? I like to color everything, but that's just me. So there we have some beautiful wings to go with our girl. See how well they're going to match up with her and her dress? They just all blend together so beautifully. Yes, an iridescent look to the wings for sure. So I'm going to fussy cut, but I'm going to do it rather quick because we kind of need to have them cut out. So I'm building the little white border around them because I like that. And then I'm just going to cut off the dragonfly because I don't need it. I really just need the wings. So you can do this with any stamp you have. The image is digital. So just measure your stamp and print a couple of sizes of the girl. I did. I printed her at 2.75 and 3 inches to see what would fit best with the dragonfly wings. So just do that, and then you can find one in your stash that works good with a girl that you have in your stash or this pretty princess that is going to be a fairy. So no fairy godmother, we are going to turn her into the fairy, so she doesn't need a fairy godmother. And then I'm just going to cut right across that dragonfly's head because I don't need that part. I could leave it on there if I wanted to. It's hidden by the girl, and when you fussy cut, your key to fussy cutting is just turn the object, not the scissors. And it makes it a little bit easier to fussy cut your stuff. There you go. Now we have wings and we have a girl. It's like a bug girl. It's so cool. Yep, it is. So you're welcome to do it however you want. You can curve the wings a little bit if you want them to stand up around her. Or you can leave them flat, whatever works for you. You can definitely curve them, which I did a little bit here. You can also make it look different with pop dots. I want her hands to be a little bit below her wings, so I'm gonna focus on making sure that I place her like that when I get ready to glue her together. But before I do that, we're going to use this Spectra Noir sparkle pen, and we're just going to go over the wings with it. I need to make sure it's coming out before I do that. And just make sure it's working. It's hard to see on camera, but it is working. When I put this on, it's going to make the wings feel a little bit wet because this it saturates the wings with glitter and liquid. So we're going to let these dry while we play with our stencil. And I'm going to show you a technique I use where I color with alcohol markers using stencils. I love to do that, and it gives me a whole new look for a stencil that I normally use with oxides or inks. But I'm going to actually use markers, alcohol markers with my image. So with my stencil. So we're going to do that next. And that's going to give us time to let our wings dry. So I'm going to hold them up just so you can see. Maybe you can see the sparkle if I get it in the right spot. There we go. Look at that shimmery sparkle. It's so pretty. It doesn't obscure the color of the wings.
Can you show that product again, the pen?
Yeah. This is it's Spectra Noir pen. It doesn't have like any label on it or anything, but it's just called the glitter pen. It says right here, Sparkle. Spectra Noir Sparkle Pen. It's like a glitter pen. But it's really wet and it's very silver sparkly. So I really like the sparkle. Look at the sparkle you get from it. It's so pretty. You have one of those? See, you're ahead already. I'm going to set the wings aside. And I'm going to set the girl aside. And then I'm going to grab our stenciling. So I'm going to have to back up on the camera a little bit so you guys can see a bit more of my desk. This paper right here is actually 5.5 by 4.25. So we are going to have to cut it down after we color, but I like to wait. I'd rather cut a little bit into the coloring to make sure everything looks smooth and good. So I usually go ahead and do it at the regular size. There we go. I got it to use on bug wings. See, exactly. I like bug stamps too. I think they're so pretty. Okay, so we have these two stencils. This is called the what is this called?
Honeyflower.
Honeyflower. This is called honeyflower because you can make honeycombs or you can make flowers, or you can take it and you can overlap it like this and you can make both. So if you want to use oxides or inks, that works out great. But I like to take my stencils and use them differently. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to place it on the left side of my image. Just like that. I just lined it up. I'm going to take my magnets and I'm going to stick them right here. It's going to hold my paper and it's going to hold my stencil still so that I can do the drawing that I want to do. Hey, Christina. I'm going to take that beautiful pen we talked about, the Le Pen, that is alcohol-based ink. And we're going to draw out only the pieces that I want to color. So I'm just going to run my pen along here. Now, when you have a image like a stencil that has lots of different designs on it, like a geo stencil or something like that, you can choose all kinds of pieces of the image and it can make something new for you. So definitely try this because you'd be surprised at some of the things that turn out with the stencil that you did. So now we have this beautiful border on here and it was simple and easy and we did it with our stencil. Perfect. Now I'm going to flip over to the other side of my card, and I want to use these two flowers. I want the shorter ones, like this is a longer row and this is a shorter row. I want the shorter row closest to the edge of the paper, and I want the longer row towards the inside of the paper. I use my desk to try to keep the image and the stencil straight, but you can do that however you want. I just blocked off so I wouldn't forget which ones I wanted to use, but you don't have to put any tape on it or anything like that. Oh, that really looked hard, right? Now I'm going to add the flowers. I could have put them inside the honeycombs, but I didn't want to. So I'm just going to draw all my little circles out first. And this is so simple, but yet it's going to give you a different look than what you get when you use, oops. I went a little fast on that one, but that's okay. No worries. Take your time. Don't move fast, or you'll end up with a little mark like I have. But then again, it's all handmade, and in the end, everyone knows it's handmade, so it's not going to be perfect. These little, what I mean by thinking outside the box is these little petals that go on this flower can also be drips of honey if you're using the honeycomb. So think about that. You could do them as honeycomb and then add some drips of honey coming off of the honeycomb. I've done that before. It was really fun. So try to think about your stencils in a different manner, just another way to use them and get use out of what's already in your stash. Hi, Pam. That's what I do. I like to think of lots of different ways to use what I already have, because I don't want to have something and then use it once and then that's it. I already used that. So I do try to come up with other ideas. I haven't seen anyone else do this, but I'm not an avid YouTube watcher, so to speak. I haven't heard of a ton of people who are on, so there could be people who do this as well, but this was just an idea that I had. And I've been doing it for a few years, so there could be other people who are doing it as well. If you write on your stencil, sometimes it won't come off because it's that permanent alcohol, but if you wipe it right away, it comes off. I don't really worry about that because if something's permanently on my stencil, then it's not coming off on another project. So I'm fine with that. But using a multi-liner that is safe for alcohol markers, you can build anything that you want. So this is the background that I built. And now we are going to color it. And you'd be surprised. It doesn't take that long to color backgrounds like this that you built. So I am going to use, going back to Copics for my little flowers. I'm going to use that YR27 and YR23 to do the inside. So this is going to go really fast. I'm just going to do one side in the darkest color all the way down. I do have one little boo-boo right there, but I think it'll be okay. We can make sure her wings cover that, or sentiment covers that, or whatever. I'm not really worried about it. Okay. Then I'm going to take my YR23, and I'm going to color from the white into the dark. Just like that. It just gives me a little bit of a two-tone inside to the flower. It's so small that it doesn't really matter. You could just do it all one color or just put a gem over it and it would be fine. So you can do it either way, any of those ways. There we go. So now we have the center part of our flower done. Now I'm gonna grab some pink colored flowers because I think the pinks, they just remind me of cherry blossom and they're just so pretty that I like them, so I'm going to use them. So I have 4 colors here. I have RV 17, 14, 13, and 21. 21. I'm going to use these 3 on one flower and these 3 on the other sets of flowers. So I want to have the flowers in 2-tone. So I'm going to start off marking the ones that I want to have the dark color in them. So I'm just going to do this center line on just the ones that I want to have the darkest color on them. And I think I want them to go every other set. So this will be light. I mean, this will be dark. This will be light. This will be dark. Then this one will be dark. And you could do them completely different colors. I just chose to stay with the pink since I want the fairy to stand out so much. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start with light and then I'm going to do dark. Light, dark, which is good because that dark will go right over that black and kind of cover it up. Skip that one, go to this one. So there we go. Now I'm going to grab the next one, which is RV 14. I'm going to just go up to where, almost where that dark color ends on the sides to kind of start coloring in that petal. And then for these, this is where I'm going to put the inside piece with this second color. Hello, Reagan. We are coloring designs we drew from stencils right now. Another way to use your stencil. So much fun. So many things you can do. It opens up the use of your stencil so much because you don't have to use the whole stencil. Just choose the piece that you want and use that. One time I was using a stencil and I was just playing around with drawing out lines and shapes from the stencil, and when I got done it ended up looking like candles all over my paper, and it was a flower stencil. So sometimes you can get some amazing stuff. Huh?
And olives.
And olives. It did look like olives too. You're right. It did. It was so fun. And I usually sit down when I'm watching TV and just kind of, sometimes I'll pull out my stencils and just draw out some of the different shapes and see what it turns out to be in the end. Sometimes you get nothing. Sometimes you get something really cool. So it's awesome to play with them. So what do you guys think so far? You like our fairy? Do you think you might try it someday? Will you try the stenciling? What do you think? Talk to me. Talk to me, crowd. So you can tell they're different colors. Just finished crafting with Lynn, Drea, and others on the Crafty Phone with Friends on LV. Handcrafted a little bit ago. Oh, I was on the same time as them. Bummer. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you for coming over. I will be uploading this video to my YouTube. So if you really like it and you want to check it out, you can watch it later. RV13, this is the third color, and I'm going to finish off these first flowers with this one. And then I'm going to do the same extending on these other flowers that I did previously. That way the one flower will be darker and the other one will be lighter. So that's kind of my thought process behind that. And I'm not really blending it together. Flowers are not necessarily smoothly blended. So I'm not really worried about working the line or getting the transition really smooth. It doesn't really seem that important to me. All of the above. I've used stencils with Tombows, but not alcohol markers yet. Oh, yay, Susan. I can't wait to see. Feel free, you guys, to share anything in this particular group. And you can come join fans of Doux Designs group on Facebook and share there as well. Tammy, you were watching us both. You guys, I don't know how you guys do that, but you guys are really good at watching more than one video at a time, which is amazing. Because nothing's more stressful than, I want to watch both. I want to watch both. So again, I'm filling in, finishing up the darker flower, and then just putting a little bit on the lighter flower. So that's what we're doing right now. It takes a teeny bit of time, but it's not too bad. I like it though. Coloring is meditative for me, so I really enjoy it. So I don't mind if it takes a bit to color these. If you'd like to color, this is just another way to build yourself a design to color, which is fun. It can just be fun. And a unique background, being that it's a stencil and you're creating the design, you probably won't see it on someone else's design because you're creating it from something that was intended to be something else. So I really love that about it. Sometimes I watch my phone and my laptop at the same time. You guys are good. That is so amazing. And then do you craft while you're watching two at the same time? We're going to use RV21 to finish this, the light flowers. Do you craft at the same time? Are you triple taskers or just multitaskers? Inquiring minds want to know if you guys can do that. I mean, I am coloring and trying to keep up with the chat, so that's multitasking. But I don't know if I could then watch another video and do all those other things at the same time. Sometimes you're even crafting when you do it. That's amazing. So you can see the difference in the flowers, right? The light and the dark. You could make them even lighter with choosing some more markers, but I was trying to keep this a little bit limited. So there we go. So now we have flowers. Yay! Multitasking. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to switch from Copics to Ohuhus. I don't know if you guys knew that you could switch between your markers like this, but you can use these together so long as they're all alcohol markers, which is amazing. Plus you guys get to see what it's like to color with each one. I was doing that last night with Craft Roulette and Dallas's event for BBCA. I watched on my iPad and put Craft Roulette on your TV. Oh my goodness, I know. I have tried to do it before. I can't keep up with the chat. Craft Roulette's chat goes so fast. V2.7, V2.6, V1.6, and then V2.4 are the 4 Ohuhus colors I have chosen for my strip over here. So I'm going to start with the darkest one, which is V2.7. And because this is an edge of the work and the line is fairly thin, I'm going to first build this little fence. It's also because the Olo markers are so juicy that if you continue to work the line, so to speak, or get too close to the line, they can sometimes spread outside the lines. So even though alcohol markers work really great together, it does take a little bit of practice to learn how each one performs because they're all a little bit different. Just a little bit. So if you use Olos, you want to choose a blend that blends nicely without having to over blend so that it doesn't go outside of your image. So I built this little fence first, and now I'm going to come in and do my little brush strokes from that little fence area. Notice how I went further on the sides and less on the inside, because when I get done, I want this center area right here to have a lighter color to it. So I'm just going along, filling in each one of these, but not getting too close to the line. That's why I built the line first. That way I could keep myself inside the lines pretty easily. Everyone that came in while I was walking the dogs. Hello, everyone. So much fun. I'm so glad you guys came to join me. I really love to have the interaction on lives. So thank you so much for taking your time out of your Saturday evening to come and join me. And everyone else all day with the BBCA. Here is V2.6. I'm going to extend a little bit here. And these colors are going to get really light. So I'm going to go ahead and build my fence on the other side with this color. And then I'm going to extend up. This is the process I'm going to use for this one. So as you can see, when I first put that in there, I have that really big variance right there. So I go back in just where that line is and just give it another coat. And as you can see, it starts to blend it really nicely. If I need to do it, I can do it one more time and then I get a beautiful blend. But don't worry, because I'm going to add other colors and they will all blend in. And Christina, stay tuned. This is not going to stay a deep purple. The last color has a bit of a pink tone to it, so it is going to change the color of this image. I mean, the color that I'm doing right now will change a little bit as we go through the process. I like to do that. I could find an Olo marker that blends with this shade of purple, but since it's almost like an arrow to the pink, I thought it would be better to add a slight bit of pink to it. So I did change the combination to add a purpley pink. So you'll see that when we get to it. We're not there yet, but you'll see it when you get there. So you could build these and color them to signify, hey, look over there. You can do them however you want. There are so many possibilities. And you'll notice that I move on before the blend is good. That's giving it a chance for the ink to dry just a little bit, because again, I said the Olo markers are really wet and I want to give them a chance to dry before I do the second coat.
Carol asked, I'm guessing that you have all the markers, right?
Yes. I have full set of the 256 of Olos, even the new ones. I have the full set of Ohuhus, which is, if I'm correct, I think I have 353. I think it is something like that. I'm missing the ones that they only sell in Japan, and the couple they sell in, there's like 2 or 3 that they sell in the pastel sets, but if I buy them, I have to get duplicates of all the other like 40 that are in there, so I don't have those. And then Copics, I have all of the Copic colors as well, and all the Copic refills. So yes, I have a full set syndrome. I also color almost every day, so it's nice to have a lot of different variety. Sandy has all the markers. I do. But I also love to teach techniques and coloring and stuff like that, and how to use your markers. So in order to learn them, I have to have them. I think I have one. I said I was stopping after I bought the Olos and the Ohuhus. I said, that's it. I have 3 brands. I'm good. I'm golden, but I have one more on the horizon that I may end up having as well, so I can try them out and see how they work and what I think and all that stuff. Do you want me to ask Dylan to grab them while he is still there? Oh, yes, I do. That would be great, Christina. I would love that. I can even give you the numbers. I know what numbers I'm missing. This is V1.6. This is going to change the color just a tad, not too much. It's the next one that really changes it, but this one is definitely going to be lighter. So I'm going to be extending from those areas and then leaving a spot for the last color, but you can tell it's starting to switch to a pinkish color. There's another thing too, Christina. They sold a while back Copic markers that were only this big. They were like mini Copic markers, and they had them in a small set of like 6 or 8 of them. Oh, if you could find those for me, I have looked everywhere. I've looked on every online I can find, and I can't find them. I want them so bad. That would be fantastico. So there, I'm just doing the same process of blending out, but changing the color just a little. So moving from this edge towards the inside, and then from this edge towards the outside. So that's the process I'm using. Again, if I need to go back for the blending, I will do it later. I'm so close to the edge of this paper, I don't want to oversaturate and go outside the lines.
Jay said he'd really like to get a set of Ohuhus.
Yeah, watch for the sales, because I got mine on Black Friday and they were an excellent price. And then I have this Etsy shop that I went to. I wonder if I still have their card on my desk, where they made a grid to put at the bottom of your marker set that hold all your markers in order. I don't know where the card is, but I found them on Etsy. I just said Ohuhu marker holders, and they fit right in that black case in the bottom of it, and they hold all of your Ohuhus in the right, in whatever order you want to put them in, but they stay in one place, and you can color family them so they're not as hard to work with. I blame Copic books. Yeah. But I don't color the correct way. I like flat color a lot. Oh, see, but it's all about what your style is. We don't want everybody's style to be the same. That's why everyone watches so many people, because nobody colors exactly the same. I mean, there's different styles, learning techniques, different. We might get to the end result similarly, but in the end, sometimes the get there is different, and people can learn from other people's get there easier. So it's really about the get there and not about the details or who you watch or how you do it. But here's V2.4. Hi, Rebecca. This one, I'm going to start from the outside, and I'm going to blend back and forth, and this is going to be a really light color, so it's going to change again. So as you can see, it's a little bit of it's almost going to give it a fluorescent type look to me. So it still needs a little blending, but I'm going to stop, move on to the next, and I'll come back to it. But that's why I'm going back and forth with those, because I don't want to oversaturate the area and have it bleed outside the lines. So I just do a couple, and then I'll go back and I'll work this a little bit more so I get a better blend, a better pretty blend. I'll do this one as well. So you can get really good coloring combinations and such if you just learn to work the angles. You can blend lots of colors, even those that aren't highly recommended for blending. You just have to learn how your marker behaves and what you can use to make that happen. Back to blending this one again. I mean, don't these look so pretty? I just love them. These colors are luscious from Olo. They look so pretty. They're so easy. They blend really nicely, and they lighten as they blend. They look dark when they're wet, but they get lighter as they dry. So there's that to remember as well. And I think we're doing really good on time. We're almost done blending this one together. I think I got this one a little bit darker, but I'm okay with that. Nothing is exactly the same in nature. Everything has a little bit of a change. Some darker, some lighter. Just like flower petals. They're not all exactly the same. It's okay if you have one that's lighter or darker. There we go. Beautiful purple blend. And they do look 3D. It's because the trick is changing the tone of the marker at the end. And that is how you get that like wow factor. All right. So now I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more because we're going to start preparing for our card. So I am going to trim this paper. I know we colored it and it's hard to trim off something you colored, but I want it to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to take some off of each end. So I'm just going to trim a small sliver off the top and a small sliver off the bottom, and that way I still keep my image equally evened out. Looks like a great foundation for a retirement card. Yes, it does. And then I need it to be, we usually do 4 inches, so we need it to be 3.75 in order to build a border around it. I have more space on this side, so I'm going to trim a little bit more there. Let's see. Maybe I want it to be 4. Do I want it to be 4? I need it to be a little bit smaller than that, I think. Yep. So we are, I think I put them over a little bit further. Let's check our black piece of paper. Sometimes I get a little confused and I go the wrong way. Oh yeah, 4 is exactly what I want. Yep. I'm a little bit shorter than that, and that's okay. It'll fit on my mat just fine. So I'm happy about that. I feel like I need just a tad bit more trim off the top, so I'm going to trim just a little bit more. And so a few slivers off the edge. Yes, I colored them, but that's okay. Gives me beautiful, clean edges. Is that a hint, Christina? All right, I am going to go ahead, I think, and stick this on there in a minute, but let's pull our girl back. This is here's our dragonfly. Her wings are dry now. They're sparkly and ready to go. I'm going to want to apply it about right there. So I'm going to, I can't see, it's black. I'm going to add the glue just right here to the center. I don't really care to put any on the wings. I just need that center part to stick. So we're going to hold her still for a minute. I'm going to, I think I was going to attach it, but I think I need to stamp the sentiment. I think I want to stamp the sentiment on here before I attach it. I also had this extra piece of ribbon laying on my desk, if it's still here, that I was thinking about maybe using. It's black, it's thin, it's light colored, so I was thinking about using it as well. So we should do that before we glue the paper together. So we should be good on our girl now. She now has wings and she's a fairy. She's no longer just a little girl. She's now a fairy, because all little girls want to be fairies at some point. I think I really want to put this on there, but I'm going to have to place out the design to see what I think. So I have a sentiment that I want to put at the top, approximately here. And then I have a sentiment that I want to put at the bottom, so approximately here. If I put this and I tie it over here, I could still put my girl over top of that. I would probably want this to be down a little bit further, so about right here. Poor princess with the smooshed nose, because I smooshed her nose with the magnet. So I want it to be about, I don't know, almost 3/4 of the way down. So I know I want it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick some double-sided sticky tape on the back to hold my ribbon still while I work. So I want it to be right here. So I'm going to take that back off of there. I don't usually use ribbon. I am not a ribbon gal, but I had this piece of ribbon laying on my desk and I was like, I really need to use it, so I am going to use it. I'm going to hold my paper still while I tie my bow, because I'm not, like I said, not real good at doing ribbons, but I really want to put this little knotted, like, cute little, I'm not tying a bow. I can tell you that is not going to be a bow. That's 100% sure. It's just going to be a little knot, because I thought it would look cute and it would bring out the black that we're going to put on the border. I should have told Dale to stick his finger there, but we got it. We got it. We got it, you guys. We got it. So cute. I did it. I'm going to grab a little glue dot that I have here from Stampin' Up. As you can see, I used a lot of Stampin' Up stuff. And I'm going to grab one of those glue dots and stick it underneath my little knot so it doesn't like move all around. Want to kind of hold it still. Perfect. Looking beautiful. Yay! Sometimes you just gotta do it. So I'm gonna fold this edge right here. If I can remember how to do this, I haven't done this in a long time. You guys probably know better than I do exactly how to do this, but I want that kind of forked looking edge. So I folded it in half, and then I'm going to cut at a diagonal like that. Oh yay, it worked. And that gave me my little diagonal edge. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Sometimes I cut it the wrong way. And then I have it different. But as long as I don't do it on the same card, it's okay. So now I just have a cute little ribbon on there. Not that it really needed it, but I thought it would be fun just to add, since it was sitting on my desk and I don't want it to go to waste. I am going to stamp directly on my card, and I'm going to use VersaFine Clair. So this says, "To a wonderful friend." And I'm going to try to put it in between these flowers over here, so that's my main focus. I love this block. I got it from the Sassy Club, but I love it because it's easy to hold and I don't tend to rock anything with it, so I don't get smeary images from rocking the stamp. So I just love it. Just FYI, it's one of my favorites. Then this one says, you sure know how to make someone happy. And I'm going to, again, focus in between these flowers because I don't remember I said on the sample I didn't like the way it looked on the flowers. So I'm just going to stamp that on there. And it's so pretty. I like it. I like it. Very happy with that versus the sample. So yay for that. Now I want to attach this to my card, and I'm just going to use my Barely Art glue. I think it's fine. I think it'll be strong enough to hold it even though there's ribbon on there. Again, I don't work with ribbon often, so that might cause a little bit of a problem, but we'll tackle that if we get to it. It's so cute. Yay! I'm so glad you guys like it. I do have to stand up when I do on black because I can't see it very well on my desk. And I really want to get it like centered. There we go. Once I have it where I want it, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to rub it with this soda press because this tool just helps me so much. Then I'll work on the front, just making sure right around that knot area that it's on there pretty good. I like it. I like it. I need to choose a card base because this is just the front of the card. I need a card base that has a really light color to it. I have a bunch of them right here. I was thinking something along the lines of green might look really good because you won't be able to see very much of it, but it might bring out the green and the fairy. So either green or blue maybe might be a good choice. I have a very light pale, almost like a blue-green color, which I think might look better than the loud. Yeah, I think this one's better. So just a little bit of, you'll just be able to see a smidge around the edge. It's only about 1/8 of an inch around the edge. So I generally have most of my card base colors pre-cut in A2 size. So when I'm doing it live, I can just grab the card base real quick and just do it. Yes, the blue-green. You guys like the blue-green too. Yay! Now, we're going to put it on there like that, but remember, I pre-cut the foam so I could pop it up because I want to pop up just so I have a little bit of dimension on my card. I want to pop it up. So I'm going to flip it over and put this. This is just foam sheets that I get on Amazon. You can get them in 8.5 by 11 or 5 by 7. I usually do 5 by 7. And get them in a bundle. And then you don't have to put a whole bunch of little squares all over your card to pop it up. Again, I can't see the black on my blue desk, so I have to stand up to see it. But that'll make this piece right here stand up, and I love that. Give me some dimension and some beauty to my card. I'm going to put a little bit of this Barely Art glue along the back, just so if I don't get it in the right spot, I can move it around. You don't have to do that, but it does help me move my card around on my card base in case I get it in the wrong spot. I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm generally pretty good at centering that. But just in case, I want to make sure I'm ready just in case. Now, there we go. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to stamp the back before I put the inside piece on it because it just stamps best when there's nothing on the other side. And then I have pre-cut pieces to put on the inside of the card as well. And I always put white because I like colored card bases. And if I give the card away and someone wants to write on the inside, they don't always have different fancy colored pens if the base is lighter or darker. So I always put a white card base, a white card piece on the inside of the card so you can, you know, write in it. Then we're going to take our little fairy here, and I think I am going to pop her up a little bit. We're going to stick her right here. I love her. I love her. I hope you guys love her. I have some pop dots that are thin, so they're about half the size of the regular pop dots. They're really, really thin. They're 3D foam squares, and I'm going to put the thin ones on her since I popped up the back. You can see I cheated. I do like to use all my paper. I don't like anything to go to waste, so if something prints wrong on one side, I am definitely going to use it when I'm coloring so that nothing goes to waste. I'm sure you guys know what that means. Nothing goes to waste. I'm going to cut some of these in half because I will need half a piece for the wings. I'm not going to do the edges because I'm going to let them curve up a little bit. So I'm only going to put it inside on the wings. Right here. I need one, like, part of her head over here. And then I just need a full square for right in the center. And then that should hold my girl up the way I want. But before I do that, I'm just going to grab my pen and I'm just going to curve her wings just a little bit. I usually just use a pen. You don't really need anything super fancy. But I just want them to stand up a little bit. See, curve just a tad bit. My friend prints most things on one sheet music from prior years for the same reason. Exactly. I never throw the paper away. And we do all the packaging and all of the stuff on our own here for our shop. So sometimes the things I print, they are crooked or don't print right for the packaging. And I'm not wasting it because it's the paper I color on. It's just the best paper. I like it. So I just put it in my card base and my coloring pack, and then I go from there. And you guys know I'm going to bling this up, right? This is not going to be it. We definitely have to put some bling on here because I like to bling it all, and we have time. Yay! Look at that. And I even like the ribbon, and I am not a ribbon person. I can tell you that. So I'm going to share with you, since we have a couple of minutes, something super amazing. And then we're going to white gel it up and we're going to bling it up. But before I move on, I'm going to tell you something super cool. I have this thing right here. I'm going to share this from my shop because it's really amazing and you're going to love it too. When I travel, I put 2 of these, one here and one here, of these hair bands on it. And if you shake it all up, you throw it in your bag and it goes to your event, you open it up, all of your bling will stay exactly where you put it in each little cubby. This is my favorite item we have in the shop. You can stack as many as you want. They interlock so they stay together. There's a lid you can buy for it if you want to travel with it. And then you can keep it on your desk. And it's my favorite thing. So I just wanted to share that. Now you guys have seen it. Yay. All right. So I'm really going to bling this up. Let's see. Do we want to use pink? Do we want to... I think I'm just going to use the clear... Well, let's use these little iridescent things. So let me grab my little bling tray real quick. So I can put some in there and we can decide shapes and sizes. And this is the little tray that we have for bling, and it has grooves in there to flip everything right side up, so you're not playing around with trying to figure out what something looks like or how to pick it up. You can just shake it. And I put quite a few because there's different sizes in here, and these are the little beads I want to use. When you're done, you can just pour it right back into your bling holder, which I love. So I want to put, I want to put a couple of little ones, like one there, one here, and maybe one down here. And I'm just going to pick up, I think I'm going to put like one of the bigger ones up here. They look like drops.
Great for diamond dots.
Yes, great for diamond dots, for sure. Absolutely. And then I'm going to put a medium one down here. I think these look like raindrops. I'm going to put a smaller one right here. I don't have to worry if the glue spreads out around it, because with this Barely Art glue, it dries clear and invisible, so I don't have to worry about that. Yes, it's actually the... this is called the multicolor, because depending on which way you turn it, you might see blue, purple, green. You get all kinds of different colors, but there is a regular purple one in the shop as well. Okay, so I like those. I feel like I want these to go all around her, so I think I'm going to put two more. I'm going to put one here, an odd number of course, and one here. So I'll do the little one up here, and I'll do the medium shape one down here. And then that gives me some bling, and I'll show you how easy it is. Yes, great for diamond dots. Is just pour it back into your container and then close it up. You can put your little thing on it if you need it, and then throw it in your bag and you're good to go. You're golden. That's one of my favorite tools. So usable and good for travel. Now I'm going to use these two pens, and the reason that I use the Grabie acrylic marker gives a bigger dot than the Milky Way, so I want to put some dots in the purple, so I'm going to use the Grabie for the purple. And then for the eyes and the necklace and all the other parts, I'm going to use this Deco Gel Milky Way pen from Karin Markers. I like it because if you unscrew it like this, you can buy a refill for it. You don't have to buy the whole pen. So I love that, and it works every time I need it to work, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to do her little eyes. I'm going to do her necklace. Remember I said it didn't matter if we colored inside the necklace because we were covering it up with the white gel pen. I'm going to do just a little mark on each one of the insides of these flowers, just to give them a little bit more design. I won't worry about the ones that are under the ribbon. I'm just doing the ones that are here. And I think that just really makes a little bit more in person, like, impact. And then I'm going to grab this Grabie pen, grab my Grabie pen, make sure it's working and I don't have to reprime it. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to put my little dots on top of the purple. It does make small dots, so I tap it more than once. Make the dot a little bigger. Just putting 3 on each one. I'm going to skip the one that's under here. I like this Grabie pen, I really do. I think you buy them in a set of like 5 or 6 on Amazon. But there you go. Just a little bit more accent. Magical dewdrops for Fairy Princess. Yes. Agreed. So here we go. This is up close and personal. See all that white pretty accent and the bling and all the details, and our wings are sparkling. So pretty. I know this was somewhat of a long class. I am going to download it and upload it to my YouTube channel, which you can find at Copic_diva, spelled like this. And I'll write it out so you can see it. _diva. You can find me on Instagram here. You can find me on YouTube here, or you can find us.
YouTube is
Oh,
Designs.
this is Instagram. And YouTube, I don't know why I'm writing this down. I think I have it on a sheet already, is Doux Designs. So you can find the YouTube on Doux Designs. If you're following me under Doux Designs on our shop page, or fans of Doux Designs, I will be taking a picture of this and posting that the video is active on YouTube, so you guys can totally rewatch it. Don't forget to pick up your free digital image. There's also a prince in this set, and they're free, so don't forget to go out and pick them up. And you can find our shop at www.ledouxdesigns.com. So spelled the same way, LEDOUX Designs. We have a new release coming out a week from today. So stay tuned, watch. Boys are awesome. You like the boys? Yay! You're in my group. You are in my group, Jay. And so we'll have a new release on Saturday next week. So 1 week from today. We are super excited about it, and we can't wait to share. We'll be having a release party where there might be giveaways at Happy Crafty Ho Ho, which you can find. We do a big party there. Happy Crafty Ho Ho, like Christmas Ho Ho, on YouTube. And that party will be on Saturday, 5/9. So we will be having a big party, and it'll be fun, and we'll be coloring. There'll be a free digi. We'll be coloring that digi. So if you want to color along, you will be able to pick up the free digi, come to the party, and have a great time. You love the class, Tammy? Thank you. I'm so glad. You need to use the prints in something. Yes, the prints is fun. I've turned the prints into other things before too. I like to manipulate the images. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed the rest of the BBCA party. It's been super fun, and I'm so glad I could be a part of it. Thank you, Dallas, for having me, and I hope you guys have a great Saturday evening. Good night.